disputed decision given to Jose Luis Ramirez of Mexico in Paris, later avenged in a shutout pitched by Whitaker here in the Scope in Norfolk. Of course, the draw was the official decision in the fight with Julio Cesar Chavez, a fight which Whitaker clearly won. No hope in the Scope for Whitaker's opponents here. He's fought 78 rounds in this facility, and in the scoring by 3 ringside judges has won 73 of those 78 rounds against a variety of opponents.
But even Azuma Nelson, the great Azuma Nelson, one of the best fighters of the last 15 years, really couldn't win a round against him, and that was in Las Vegas.
Yeah, he's probably pitched more shutouts or near shutouts than any active fighter. And there's a good look at Santos Cardona. George, as you point out, a full-size welterweight, 29 wins, 3 losses, 19 KOs, a full-size welterweight with pretty good punching power.
Not only that, he's fought 19 times as a welterweight, so he's a solid welterweight. Whitaker has only fought 3 times as a welterweight.
Coming up from his previous levels at lightweight and junior welterweight, 140 pounds. So, Cardona, on balance, the bigger of the 2 men, although, of course, tonight they weigh pretty much the same, or at least they did when they weighed in yesterday. Here's a look at the tail of the tape, and you will see that Whitaker gives away 3 inches in height, as he will do against most welterweight opponents for the remainder of his career. Whitaker sweated a little bit, Larry, to make it down to 147.
Yeah, but if preparation really is what motivation is about, he weighed up leaner, meaner, readier, 145 for Chavez. So obviously, he can't get up again in that fashion. This should be enough for him, but it isn't what he was.
Punch stat numbers, Larry.
Take a look and see how active they are, and you can see that Cardona is the kind of fighter who throws a lot of punches just in case some of them land. And they throw almost the same amount of jabs.
Rules of the bout with our unofficial ringside scorer, Harold Letterman.
Pernell Whitaker and Santos Cardona will box tonight using the rules of the World Boxing Council. 12 rounds. There is no standing 8 count. No 3 knockdown rule. You can be saved by the bell in the last round only. Only the referee can stop the fight. And in case the cut is caused by an accidental headbutt, and that cut causes the fight to be stopped, we go to the scorecards after 3 rounds have been completed. Before that, it's a technical draw. Jim.
All right, Harold, and now let's go up to ring announcer Michael Buffer for the pre-fight introductions.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. At this time, your attention, please. Just recently, at the age of 92 years young, a legendary member of the boxing fraternity passed away. For almost 70 years, he was active training and managing fighters to world championships. Greats like Jackie Kid Berg, Benny Leonard, Ezra Charles, Larry Holmes, and Roberto Duran, to name only a few. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, please rise as we bid a final farewell with a memorial 10 count to one of the sport's genuine treasures, the great Ray Arcel. May he sleep in peace. Ladies and gentlemen, a final round of applause for this great member of the boxing fraternity, Ray Arcel. And now, ladies and gentlemen, Main Events Incorporated, in association with the undisputed, undefeated king of beers, Budweiser, proud to be your bud, present World Championship Boxing. This bout is sanctioned by the Virginia State Athletic Board, Director Doug Beaver. All the officials at ringside for the state of Virginia, previously introduced, will remain the same. Supervisor for the World Boxing Council is Dickie Cole of Texas. The bout will be scored on a 10-point must system by the following 3 judges. Francisco Manzano of San Juan, Puerto Rico. Larry O'Connell from Kent, England. And Jim Traylor of Virginia Beach, Virginia, USA. And when the bell rings, the man in charge of the action, working for the 32nd time in a world title bout, Al Rothenberg. And now, ladies and gentlemen, from Norfolk, Virginia, let's get ready to rumble! 12 rounds of boxing for the WBC Welterweight Championship of the World. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the blue trunks with red and white trim. He weighs 146 1/2 pounds and brings a professional record of 29 victories, 19 by KO, against only 3 defeats. From Toa Baja, Puerto Rico, introducing the #1 ranked challenger in the world, Santos Chino Cardona. And across the ring, his opponent in the blue corner, wearing red trunks with blue trim, weighing in at 147 pounds. This 1984 Olympic gold medal winner has a professional record of 32 victories, 15 by KO, only 1 defeat with 1 draw, and last September, he proved to the entire world that pound for pound, he is the best in the world today. Ladies and gentlemen, from Norfolk, Virginia, presenting the former undisputed lightweight champion, the former junior welterweight champion, and the current WBC welterweight champion of the world, Pernell, Sweet Pea Whitaker.
All right, gentlemen, we don't need any more words. I've briefed you in the ring room, and you know what I expect of you. I want you to touch gloves now. Be prepared for the bell.
Larry Merchant, we listed before the fight the 3 other lightweight champions in history to have moved up and won the welterweight championship. Barney Ross, Henry Armstrong, Roberto Duran. What chance does Whitaker have to make a similar mark on the sport to those 3 historic names?
Well, in a measure he already has, and what we want to see is, can he really sustain that? It's interesting, before the fight he says, as pound-for-pound champion, he has a responsibility that he can't have a mediocre showing. That's creating pressure and incentive for himself, which is what a great athlete does. But it also can create problems if he gets out of who he is.
George, what must Cardona do in the early rounds to put doubt into Whitaker's mind?
He's got to get out there and swing it out. And when you can't do anything else, fight yourself into being in the position to be ahead on points. You got to fight it. You just can't outpoint this guy. You got to fight it.
In recent years, Whitaker much more a flat-footed fighter than was the case when he was a lightweight will-o'-the-wisp. He does not have great punching power. What little he has, he's quite proud of.
He was able to land a good straight left that time.
Cardona says that he sparred exclusively against southpaws. There's always an adjustment for a conventional fighter in going in against the southpaw, particularly one as slick as Pernell Whitaker.
The good thing about Pernell Whitaker, he keeps his eyes open at all times. He doesn't go for the blinking of the eye. He's watching everything.
Like Ray Leonard did.
And when you do that, you can do a lot of things that you're not expected to do. You counter, you see things that the other guy is doing wrong.
Another good straight left hand by Whitaker. Cardona coming back with rights to the body. One thing Chavez failed to do was to get to Whitaker's body, and Cardona says he'll do a better job of it. Good right hand by Cardona, countering inside.
He's not made Whitaker back up at this point yet. That's what he's got to do. Prove I'm more powerful at this weight than you are. Move back.
Cardona clearly concentrating well, remembering to go to the body early. Good body shots in there by Cardona.
And he's hitting Whitaker in the back only because Whitaker is turning his back.
Referee Al Rothenberg warning Cardona not to hold Pernell behind the head. Crowd a little uneasy with Cardona's tactics early. Both men excellent counter punchers. Offense from one side should beget offense from the other in virtually every instance.
That Whitaker has a mean streak in him. Not only pound for pound, he may be pound for pound the meanest guy in the ring, too.
It may be his most underestimated quality.
Stop!
Beautiful out there. Nice and easy, nice and easy. Nice. Hey, you're all right. Take it easy. Good, George. Talk. Beautiful.
With your left arm. Now watch your balance. Don't lunge. Just take your jab, let your jab find the range for you. Don't be anxious. If it's a little anxious, just take your time. Now you got this guy under control. You don't run into nothing. Okay? Now listen.
In Cardona's corner, where the preferred language is Spanish, our interpreter is Hector Garcia.
Don't stay in front of him. Use your both hands. You don't let him start. You go first. You have to make him miss.
Second down.
Starting with Muhammad Ali and a lot of his clones, many boxers thought that boxing was done with your legs. And fans got used to the idea that a boxer really was somebody who ran. But what we see Pernell Whitaker doing is what true boxing always was down through the ages of prize fighting, which is to stand there in punching range and be quicker than the other guy and not let him hit you and you hit him.
Cardona has not found the range for his lead right hand yet. Once he does, you're going to see a different fight.
The lead right hand, always the key weapon against a southpaw, right, George?
Yeah, you throw it in. Don't throw it with power. Just throw it out there. Eventually, you'll find the range to throw a powerful right hand.
That's twice. That's twice.
Rothenberg again warning Cardona not to hold while hitting. It's a penalizable offense. The average fan may wonder, George, why throw a punch without power?
You find the range. You get in, you touch, almost like a man who's blind with a stick. Figure out where you're going to step. Let the stick find it first. Then you land your step in there.
Cardona cocking the right, now pawing with it, just as George says he should, and he finds a short left hand inside. Whitaker with a fabulous straight left.
When Whitaker finds you doing a good strategy, he lands a powerful punch just to throw you off. But you got to go right back to your strategy. Don't be detoured. Go for it.
He's a master of changing the pace to take you out of your plan.
Cardona is doing a good job of throwing that lead right hand.
And Cardona remembering to whack away to the rib cage in all of the clinches. Right hand over the top, lands for Cardona. Another straight left for Whitaker.
Cardona tipped him with the right hand lead. Just a little touch every now and then. The judges see it.
And Cardona, for the moment, George, doing a better job than virtually any opponent in recent memory of making a fight of it against Pernell Whitaker.
He's going for it. He's solid. He's not been made the #1 contender because of anything political. He is a genuine #1 contender.
Among his many victories, he beat up Livingston Bramble. Bramble said it was one of the worst bullfight beatings of his career.
Stop! Stop! Hey, Bill, stop!
Keep your mind on the work. The most important things you're not doing. You're not doing the most important things. Work to the left. You're using your combinations, but you have to move to the left. Take that advantage away from him. Move to the left. I don't want you to stay behind. Don't stand in front of him. Move.
You get close, throw the ball to the body and to the head, right? You doing all that. Just right there, right? Just go, keep your range, Don't reach too far with what you got, all right? Just use that jab.
You heard Georgie Benton telling Pernell Whitaker to use his jab. Pernell Whitaker is Georgie Benton's greatest creation. Georgie Benton fought just the way Whitaker does.
And according to punch stat numbers, particularly in round 2, Cardona landing at a higher rate of accuracy than Pernell Whitaker.
The thing about Whitaker's corner, they seem to be real careful about what they say. They don't want to get this guy upset so he doesn't listen to anything they say. That's an awful bad position. He's like a bad boy that may go off at any time. I think the referee is bothering with Cardona a little too much.
This time the warning was about low blows.
Yeah.
So we've had 2 little lectures about holding behind the head and 1 for low blows. No penalty points so far. Pernell going more to the jab now and moving to his right. Try to stay away from Cardona's left.
Whitaker's doing a good job. And it seems that the only thing in Cardona's shield of honor is that he cannot take a good jab. He hits you back when you throw a right, he hits you back when you throw a left, but when you jab him, he doesn't do anything. Whitaker should be aware of that.
Pernell is always very proud of saying that he doesn't watch tapes of other fighters. He observes the theory that if he goes in and fights his fight, it doesn't matter what the other guy does. But he has seen Cardona, watched him on TV in Florida.
Good left hook by.
Yeah, terrific left hand. Pernell took it well. Another straight right by Whitaker. Cardona having no trouble handling that.
He's throwing a double right hand. They're not powerful, but they're landing. Whitaker is the kind of guy, if you just keep touching him, it makes him think that something is going wrong. Cardona's corner told him to keep moving to.
That's a good point, though, George. Whitaker's not used to being hit at all. If you keep making contact, you might creep into his mind a little bit.
Yeah, and it goes. And he's been talking about how great he is. But here, I'm being hit a lot more than I'm hitting back. He'll panic.
And your point at the beginning of the night, Pernell has fallen into the habit of talking about himself in third person. You think that means an ego band.
That's right. You know, the old saying, there's a pride before the fall. You keep talking about what you, I. Next thing you know, some little you will come in and take it.
Cardona warring on the ropes with Pernell Whitaker. Whitaker countering with the straight left. He's landing it over and over. But Cardona doesn't back up.
Cardona is moving to the left just like his corner told him to do.
And this time it was Whitaker who tried to hit after the bell.
One thing that is clear, Cardona doesn't think Whitaker can hurt him. He's starting to come in more and more affirmatively.
Don't let him carry you too fast. Now listen, that's your fight. Son, and just keep doing that. Listen, nothing different. Just box the shit out of him. All right? You may get lucky and hit it with something real clean because you're making him commit himself.
Here's Whitaker with a straight left hand. Doesn't faze Cardona a bit.
You have to cut his... Cut the ring on him. Let's go.
Pernell Whitaker, to the naked eye, does not appear as chiseled, as well conditioned, maybe not quite as sharp as he was 7 months ago in San Antonio against Chavez. Total punches through 3 rounds. Our punch stat counters have Cardona landing at a lower rate now than Pernell Whitaker. Whitaker trying to pound that straight left through the gloves of Cardona again. He'd make a big mistake if he tried to fall in love with his punching power here, George.
I think so. Cardona was really effective by jabbing with that right hand of his. He turns it into a power punch. Whitaker takes over.
Both fighters trading body shots in the middle of the ring. Cardona continuing with sheer aggression and getting inside of Whitaker. Whitaker landing, Cardona landing right back.
Whitaker is starting to find a good range now. He's not reaching at the guy. He's letting the opponent come to him.
Stop holding his head.
When you hit a guy like Whitaker, you got to suck up and get ready to hit him back because he doesn't like to be hit. He want to pay you back. So you got to suck up after that and get ready to exchange again.
Wants to pay you back is a competitive urge. It's sometimes accompanied by one of the few drawbacks for Whitaker. He likes to admire his work.
Keep them up.
Good straight left hand there by Pernell, and Cardona unable to counter that time. Cardona whacking away to the body, and Pernell ties him up against the ropes. Well, one thing's for sure, it was set up tonight as a showcase for potential future opponents McGirt and Whitaker. Whitaker has by far the tougher opponent.
Get quick.
Cardona is staying right in this fight. You can see that he's not backing off at all. And although the fight appears to be close, on my card, I haven't been able to get him around yet.
No, quiero que lo hagan mejor todavía. Yo quiero que lo hagan mejor. Si nosotros queremos ganarle a este tipo, al mejor del mundo, nosotros tenemos que
And
estar
there
trabajando
you see
con él.
Cardona's
No
problem.
nos podemos quedar de frente con él. Quiero verte combinando al cuerpo todo el tiempo, Bandita. Al cuerpo, dame.
Go to your body, guy.
Vamos. No tiene cabeza.
He has no head. You're better than he is.
Opi, break it down.
Sometimes we wonder what fight trainers are looking at.
Sometimes they're trying to con their fighters.
Can you really con a guy who's getting punched?
Yes, you can.
You can, George?
You can con him, and that's the job of a good corner man. Sometimes a corner man is better than a trainer.
You ever had a trainer effectively con you into a better performance, George?
That's so. Once I was cut, Angelo Dundee didn't even let me know it. Told me my nose was running.
Beautiful.
If he had told me I was bleeding, I probably would have seen it.
You know what they say about those big men in blood? Left and a right to the body by Cardona. Whitaker landing the straight right up the middle. Cardona going back to aggression. Whitaker backing up, but occasionally stopping, standing his ground, and landing solidly. Both fighters missing there. Crowd appreciates Pernell's defensive capabilities.
Cardona is thinking, I've never seen anything like this. I'm doing everything right, but yet the tide isn't going for me.
And you saw Cardona's head snapped back there by the right hands.
Start receiving a lot of jabs like that, it puts your neck and your back out of whack. Sometimes then you no longer can land big punches.
Pernell's connect rate is going up and up and up. Cardona landing there, but by and large, Pernell in the first half of this round has been landing just about everything he throws.
All right, I got it. Hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. Stop. Don't wrestle. Don't push.
You get a guy
by Whitaker.
Fight out of it. Pull away.
You get a guy from Puerto Rico a long way from home in the territory that's not his, and another guy's hometown, and the referee lead starts off irritating you. You can turn the tide instantly, and this referee has done a terrible job of doing that.
Because he's been one-sided in looking at Cardona's fouls without disciplining Pernell. Is that it?
Yeah, that's true, and it's a long way from home.
Look at him trade, George. This is sensational action.
Cardona is a solid puncher. He can get a left hook going. He can drop Pernell with it.
As you're watching at home, you're thinking to yourself, is this a tough bout to score? Both fighters seem to be landing. In a moment, we'll turn to our unofficial ringside scorer, Harold Letterman, to see how he has seen the first 5 rounds. Pernell Whitaker's first appearance in the ring since the big match with Julio Cesar Chavez last September 10 in San Antonio. Harold, through the first 5, how do you see it?
Jim, like I see every fight, it's a piece of cake. 50-45, 5 rounds to nothing, Pernell Whitaker. I think he's winning this fight on a left-handed power shot. Gino Cardona's trying to make a fight out of it, but every time he walks in, Pete nails him with a good left hand, and that left-hand power shot is winning the rounds. I got Pernell ahead all the way.
Larry?
Harold and I agree. Here, let's take a look at Whitaker's jabs here. This is like watching a great point guard or a great leadoff hitter. You don't have to be a big power man to attract the fans. He is the exception that proves the rule.
Pulling out if you have to. Stop. Damn thing off the deck. All right, box.
Rothenberg continually irritated by the Cardona corner. Pull him out of there if you have to, he says, huh?
Whitaker's put his hands behind the back of Cardona several times and hasn't been warned yet.
I agree.
The fighter's going to win. Let him win it. You don't need to referee to help you. I may.
Cardona with a left to the body.
Let go, Pete.
They trade to the rib cage at short range. Rothenberg telling Whitaker to let go. Cardona, meanwhile, holds Whitaker from behind.
Oh, it was Whitaker holding it. It was Whitaker holding it. Whitaker is as slick as a razor, sharp as a tack.
Pernell's right eye is puffing up a little bit.
Whoa, I got it. Come on, let's go. Stop. Stop. Come on, Pete. Stop when I say stop.
All right, he won.
Yeah.
He won Whitaker that time.
Yeah, that's about time. Good, straight left hand by Whitaker.
Snapped Cardona's head back.
Behind 2 jabs.
I don't know if I've ever heard the crowd cheer a jab before. But that was one you could see from the balcony.
This is not your hard-boiled Las Vegas boxing crowd. Whitaker finding the reins again with the right. This time it was the left uppercut. He's just landing at will in there now, George.
It's by way of that jab. He throws that right jab. It's no fight at all. No contest at all. He mixes it up, gives Cardona a chance to get in his solid stuff.
But Pernell's right eye is puffing up just a little bit. Unusual because he is seldom marked in the ring. And of course, as a southpaw, the right eye is his lead eye. If it affects his vision, then that connect percentage can be expected to go down.
Let go of him.
Another straight left.
Get him up, Pete. Get him up.
Boy, he is quick with the left cross, George.
Whitaker knows everything that you're supposed to do to a southpaw, and once he catches you doing those things to him, he makes you pay for it. As if to say, you better do something else.
In other words, when he sees the right hand, he counters over the top of it with the lightning left.
And you put your left foot on the outside of his right foot, he pops you for that. He said, now you're in position, I'm going to get you out of it.
I got it. Hold it. Come on. Back up, Pete. Back up. Stop.
Halfway through the 12-round distance. Master at work, but it's tough work.
Keep moving. Box him forward. Box him forward. Don't stand still, right? Just keep taking more this way and that way, so he can't find you.
See, your boxing, your tempo is beautiful out there. Give him a little few, Michaels. Walk away. Give him the fence and go right back. Don't. See, you hit him now. If you don't let him set up, you can hit him with that jab. Don't let him set up. Okay? You're doing beautiful.
Keep hitting him in the body. Keep tapping him in the body, right? Keep him looking. Keep him looking.
There you see the heavy jab that Whitaker is throwing, stepping into it just out of the textbook. Better than the textbook even. You know, normally, George, a pure boxer like Pernell Whitaker has been, needs a great bull like Julio Cesar Chavez for people to appreciate. But what we're seeing here now is Pernell Whitaker trying to make the fight with his boxing ability, not willing to let the other man make the fight.
Whitaker just complained about a thumb. But let me tell you, it's not the thumb. His eye is in awful shape now.
You saw Ace Morata working on it with the end swell between rounds. And Cardona clearly aware that the right eye could bother Pernell, so look for more left jabs from Cardona. But again, if he uses the left jab a lot, then people try to make him pay.
The thing about your eyes start to puff up, you just can't see good. It starts to bother you. Whitaker fights with his eyes. His hands are great, but his eyes. And once this part of his arsenal starts to suffer, like his eyes, he's in trouble. He starts to complain. He looks for a way out.
You pointed out in the first round, his tremendous vision, his ability to keep his eyes open inside. That'll be compromised by this swollen right eye.
That's true. And then Cardona got to realize he's fighting for the title. He can't sit back and wait. He's got to fight. Even if you get knocked down, go for it.
Well, I think he's done a pretty good job of maintaining aggression. He's getting hit a lot, but he keeps coming.
Whitaker jumped in a straight right, left. You just can't follow Whitaker like that without throwing a punch. You got to throw something.
Just missed with the left hand. The jab continues to land with metronome regularity. Left to the body by Whitaker, right hands to the head by Cardona. Whitaker goes back to the body. Good job of working down, then up, George.
He mixes it up like I've seen no other fighter do in a long time. He gets you thinking, I'm going to jab you, then he goes down to the body with combinations. So you don't know what to protect, how to protect yourself.
Another left by Whitaker to the middle of Santos Cardona's belly, and then he comes back with the jab. Cardona trying to target the right eye, Whitaker with good head movement. They trade together at the ropes.
Cardona is thinking, if only I can just come back with this left hook, I got the fight.
Finishing left hook, the bread and butter of Cardona's combinations. Hard punch to land against any southpaw, particularly Pernell.
The thing about fighting Whitaker is how do you prepare for it? You can't find a sparring partner that can simulate this.
You all right?
Okay. Same thing. Don't get in no fight with him. He didn't looking for you. He didn't looking for you. Go on. Throw them punches in his chest and on his chin. When you don't see one, throw it right there. Right? Make sure your wrist is tight when you throw it there, right? Keep weird.
Pernell Whitaker complained about a thumb in the eye at the very start of the round. Let's see if we can see it. Well, there may have indeed been a thumb there. It certainly wasn't deliberate.
And not only that, those thumbs are attached. It's hard to get a good thumb in the eye these days.
Yeah, prize fighting just isn't what it used to be, George.
No matter how hard you try.
Not once in your whole career did you ever try to thumb a fighter, right, George? You'll take the fifth, huh?
I think Cardona would have been a lot satisfied with himself, even when this fight is over, if he'd been a bit more aggressive, even if he had caught a lot more punches.
One big tactical difference in the fight so far. Pernell Whitaker landing about 5 times as many jabs as Santos Cardona.
That was that left hook by Cardona, right where he wanted it, too. Now he's thirsty for another.
Gets another chopping left inside as Pernell backs away. Pernell sticking the right, sticking the right. In a minute, he'll turn his attention back down to the body.
Cardona should start everything differently each time. If you lead with your right, come back the next time with your left lead. Don't start doing the same thing over and over.
Whitaker going all the way down to the canvas, dipsy-do as he calls it, to duck punches by Cardona.
There should be some reward for Cardona for this earnest effort.
It is an earnest effort. Well said.
I mean, it's all written all over his face. He's doing everything he can. He's just, but it's playing three-card Monte with a genius.
But he's got to say to himself, I've been hit by this guy's best punch. I'm not on the canvas. I'm going in for some more and try to get in to a big one to his 2 or 3 punches. You cannot hold it back when you're fighting for the title.
And you heard heavyweight titleist Evander Holyfield tell us in our preview interview that he can do without frontman Ace Murata in the upcoming fight against Michael Moore. For the moment, Murata has done the job on that swelling right eye and seems to have turned the tide so that Pernell can still see. Good left hand inside by Whitaker.
Yeah, if I'm Holyfield, I'd call Murata back. He's done a great job of keeping that swelling down.
Just for the record, Ace holds no grudge against Evander. Says he'll be rooting his heart out for the champion to keep his title against Moore.
I said the same thing when Muhammad booked me. No grudge. I said.
Whitaker getting in a cheap shot as Cardona flailed against the ropes there.
But look who the referee is holding on to, though.
Well, now that's an old story, isn't it, George?
You won one guy and hold the other.
You never hold the hometown fighter.
You have to wake up, guy. Use the body. Punch the body. Oh, those baby eyes that you have. Come on, guy. That guy is so swelling up. Move your way. Move to the left. Move to the left. You're waiting too long. Come on, guy. You're waiting too long, Chino. At the gym, you were moving to the left. At the gym, you were moving to the left. And here, what's going on here? You're not doing it here. I'm not asking you anything that we didn't practice. I just want you to keep doing the same thing.
Lalo Medina asking Santos Cardona, his fighter, to move to the left against the southpaw, particularly to move toward Whitaker's swelling right eye.
Whitaker has a master cut man in his corner.
Yeah, Ace is about as good as they come.
Whitaker's right eye is wide open again.
And there's the result as he lands a solid left hand.
Man's pumping up again. He got slapped just a little bit in that right eye.
That'll mean more work for Murata between rounds. Meanwhile, Pernell tries to go back to work with the jab against Santos Chino Cardona.
What I can't understand is Cardona is doing the right thing and still not winning this fight.
Oh, that's easy to understand. Master at work. Perfect left hands. Right on the button by Whitaker. Crowd comes alive again. They love their man.
Cardona is beginning to be a sitting duck. He better start moving a bit himself.
Well, he still hasn't remembered to move to the left with the consistency that his trainer wants.
Whitaker's jumping in with that right jab. You do that a few times and a guy can easily be knocked out.
Pernell, only 15 knockouts in 34 fights. That's not his trademark. The paint job, the shutout, the 12-0 win in rounds. That's the Whitaker trademark, particularly here in Norfolk.
Once you receive those kind of jabs consistently, you can't help but being knocked out. You knock yourself out.
The most stunning knockout of Whitaker's career was against another Puerto Rican fighter, Juan Nazario. First-round knockout in Reno that unified the lightweight championship. But that's rare. For those of you tuning in to see final analysis on the East Coast and the premiere of Sidekicks on the West Coast, those programs will be seen in their entirety immediately following World Championship Boxing. Cardona trying to rally, and Whitaker trying to punish him for it. Standing ovation for Sweet Pea Whitaker.
Breathe in, baby, breathe in. It's a fifth round.
Stay down the business, right?
We're back in the air with you.
You're winning this fight good. Just keep doing what you're doing. Don't do nothing fancy. You understand? Because you guys still dangerous. You understand? You got me coming? You're still dangerous, man. Just keep doing what you're doing, man. Okay.
More water, Danny.
And here's Pernell, as he puts it, having a party. When he says, I want to have a party, he doesn't mean after the fight. He means during the fight.
Been boxing since he was 8 years old.
Boxing, keep boxing this guy.
Spent long periods of time in his teenage years fighting against Navy men here in Norfolk who were 8, 10, 12 years older than him and whipping them. Landed 87% of his power shots, 26 out of 30, in round number 9. Extraordinary accuracy in the 9th round by a swollen-eyed Pernell Whitaker.
Whitaker's like a good quarterback. He gets in that pocket between your punches and just stay there and well away on you.
And you talked about the mean streak, George. We saw it at the end of that last round.
He's a tough cookie.
Historically, people have always suspected boxers of not having courage, not having meanness. any athlete that makes it look easy gets that designation in whatever sport he's in. They said it about Ali, they said it about Ray Leonard. But as they got older and slowed down, you saw just how much courage and meanness and toughness they had.
And as time goes by, we see more and more of it in this QD2.
Cardona landed a good chopping right hand, soft-spoken right hand.
Begins to take on a little of the texture of Whitaker-Chavez last fall. Cardona, like Chavez, chasing Whitaker around the ring, lunging in to try to create opportunities. Pernell, when he chooses, standing his ground and landing the solider punches.
Pernell is competitive. You hit him, he wants to hit you back.
All right, I got it. Hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. Stop.
Chopping left hand by Whitaker. Combination. Cardona still fighting well and doing what he can. Whitaker's dominance increasing.
Hold it, I got it. Oh no, Pete. No. Hold it, Cardona.
The ref is getting better, by the way.
Yeah, but once again, he was holding Cardona back with the right hand and talking to Pete.
I don't know why he's doing that.
Great counter left hand by Whitaker. And Cardona's hurt. More so than at any other time in the fight. A vicious 10th round beating being meted out by Pernell Whitaker.
Hold it.
And a courageous Santos Cardona has taken a ton of punishment now.
And Pernell Whitaker gives himself a nod of approval as he goes back to his corner. Well earned.
Anytime you want to fight, just run the numbers on him so he can't fire back. 3-4 punches. That's it. No one punch.
Present you.
You're doing a good job. Just keep doing what you're doing. You understand?
Here is Whitaker helping to paint this masterpiece. He's like one of those punctillists, an artist who paints by making dots, like Surratt. He just puts a lot of dots on his opponent, and by the end of the fight, he's got his masterpiece.
Harold, how you got it?
I'm leaning over backwards looking for a round to get to Santos Cardona, and I can't find one. 100-90, 10 rounds to nothing. Pernell, Pete Whitaker. I think he's just dominating this with those right jabs and the left-hand power shots.
I think if you were going to find a round to give to Cardona, Harold, you should have done it early. It's getting harder. For those of you tuning in to see Final Analysis on the East Coast and the premiere of Sidekicks on the West Coast, those programs will be seen in their entirety immediately following World Championship Boxing. In the meantime, if you're new to boxing, you're looking at pound for pound the best fighter in the world. The fella in the red trunks right there. There's nobody better alive in the sport today than Pernell Whitaker. Here he's taking on a tough, well-trained, #1 contender, an excellent fighter in Santos Cardona. Cardona's giving it a heck of an effort, all he's got, and Pernell is now just beating the living tar out of him.
Whitaker, even when he's presented with a knockout, doesn't take it. You can only get by so long with that, though. You're going to get your title taken. Sometimes the judges will not see it the way you've seen it, and they'll take a fight away from you. If you see a knockout, go for it.
Well, somewhere down the road, things have to change. He can't be this brilliant forever, but Cardona's going to earn a lot of respect tonight in a fight in which he may well have been shut out.
You just couldn't figure out what to do to this guy.
Who could? If Chavez couldn't, who could? That's going to be the question for the next 3-4 years.
All right, I got it. Hold it. I got it. That's enough.
Pernell is 30 years old now. 34 fights. When does he fall off the diving board? That'll remain to be seen. But clearly not yet.
He's threading the needle with that straight left hand.
Yeah, he is. Putting it right between Cardona's guard. Boom. The right hand was perfect there.
And he's landed enough body punches to ensure that Cardona doesn't come back and get him weak.
Come back.
He's a mean guy.
1 round to go.
Would you penalize Pernell for that?
Certainly, he's had to tell him twice already.
All right, okay.
Well, that's one way to lose a round.
He can afford that.
Just go out there and do just what you're doing. Do not get in a fight with a guy. You understand? Because you're winning this fight. You don't need to get in a...
Come on, guy. This is it. This is it, man. That's chance. This is the fight you came here for. Come on, Chino, let's go.
Let's see if we can see this uppercut that Whitaker throws just to show us something new in his arsenal. You know, in a sense, he's defending 2 titles here tonight, the welterweight championship and the pound-for-pound championship. The pound-for-pound championship against, I think, the prize fighter everybody agrees is the closest to him in perfection right now, James Toney. And he is defending that title well, and he feels it. So maybe every time both of them go out, they'll feel the necessity to defend that title or to win that title.
You agree, George, that James Toney is Pernell's closest competitor for the best pound-for-pound designation?
James Toney is good, but Whitaker is in another class. Toney has power, so he's dependent a lot on that. He'll never be able to develop the way Whitaker has developed.
And Whitaker, ignoring his corner's orders not to get in a fight with Cardona, is allowing his anger to show here. But now he wants to showboat a little bit. So we'll see the dipsy-do and maybe the whirligig. He's got a 360. It's not a slam dunk, but he's shown it before. Once in this ring against Roger Mayweather, he pulled down Mayweather's trunks just for the pure heck of it.
And then Mayweather knocked him down.
Mayweather has a great right hand.
I like Toney because Toney can punch. That's the way a son of mine
But let's say something else about Toney. He's an aggressive boxer. He does something that some people might think is even harder than what Whitaker does. He's always coming forward, and he's not being hit.
Well, we'll get to see James Toney again pretty soon on HBO, but meanwhile, we turn our attention back to the final minute and a half of this homecoming showcase for Pernell Whitaker. All the seeds were sown for a possible letdown. There was every possibility that Whitaker wouldn't be able to rise to the emotional and technical heights he demonstrated in his fabulous performance 7 months ago against Julio Cesar Chavez. And in the first 3 rounds, it was clear that Santos Cardona was here to give him the fight of his life. But increasingly, with each passing round, it has become another virtuoso performance. Another showcase for the multiple skills that make Pernell Whitaker clearly, unequivocally, indisputably, the best fighter in the world. 45 seconds to go in yet another masterpiece.
And Cardona is a good fighter. He's not going to find a better welterweight around today as Cardona.
I got it. Cut it out. Both of them.
Slip.
All the slip. the top of Pernell's foot as he tumbled backward. Pretty close, though. What an effort by Santos Cardona. Give him credit.
Good fight. You feel like that doesn't count.
You'll bring them to me immediately.
Okay. Harold, how'd you score it?
119, 109. I thought Pernell clowned around a little in the last round. Clowned around enough for Santos Cardona to win it. But it was a clear-cut, easy victory. Absolutely for Pernell Whitaker. I mean, there was just no way that Santos Cardona could have won more than 1 or 2 rounds. Very, very easy. I mean, he was in control of the entire fight. He moves beautifully, quickest hands in boxing. He's got a beautiful right jab, a great straight left hand. There's nothing wrong with Pernell Whitaker. A Whitaker-McGirt fight would be great.
And George, as hard as it was to watch the one-sided exhibition between Bramble and McGirt, and as one-sided as this turned out to be as well, I think I would gladly watch 12 more rounds of this. It was brilliant.
It was absolutely wonderful. If you've seen this at home, you've seen something great.
And give credit, as I said, to that man. What a tough fighter, huh?
Good, tough.
Cardona showed that he was the #1 contender. He did everything he was supposed to do, but how do you whip Pernell Whitaker?
No answer yet. Right now, let's go up to our ring announcer, Michael Buffer, for the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, we go to the scorecards. Larry O'Connell scores about 119 to 111. Jim Traylor scores it 119 to 109. And Francisco Manzano scores about 119 to 109 for the winner. And still, WBC welterweight champion of the world from Norfolk, Virginia, Pernell Sweet Pea Whitaker.
And we take a look at final punch stat numbers from our friends at CompuBox. And you can see that Pernell Whitaker landed 312 more punches by their count than Santos Cardona. Both men throwing almost the same amount. 61% connect percentage for Pernell Whitaker. You don't want to go in the ring against a guy who lands 61% of his punches. I don't care how much power he may lack. Larry, you ready? Yep. Larry Merchant standing by with Pernell Whitaker.
Pernell, congratulations once again. You came in here saying you were defending not just the welterweight championship, but this pound-for-pound championship, that you had to show the people that you were that. Do you feel that? Does that explain why you were so aggressive?
Oh, no, I think the fans were entitled to a great show. If they select Pernell Whitaker as pound-for-pound, I think Pernell Whitaker deserves to give the people, the viewers of HBO and the fans, a great show.
So that you really do feel somehow that this is almost like you're defending 2 titles.
No, I said before that I don't fight. It's not about world titles anymore. It was that one crown, pound for pound, that the fans get a chance to choose their favorite fighter, and their favorite fighter fought tonight.
You saw Buddy McGirt in the first fight. Do you think he earned a rematch with you?
Exactly not. And like I said before, you know, Buddy's a great fighter.
Why don't you think he did earn a rematch?
Because I don't think that he deserves a rematch for all the excuses that he complained about the first time.
So that if he apologizes and says, I lost that fight, forget the injury, you'll give him a rematch?
It's too late.
Too late. So who do you want to fight?
Oh, it doesn't matter. I'm going to take a poll and let the fans and the viewers that are watching send in the 1-900 number and let them choose who I fight since they chose me as pound for pound.
Thank you for giving business to the telephone company. Thank you for appearing on HBO. Back to you fellas at ringside.
Little business for everybody. All right, George. So Pernell says that he won't fight.